Okay, welcome back, kiddos. Now we are working on three-step equations. So there's only three steps that we need to do for a three-step equation solving. So let's go and write those down. First step, we are going to move the constant to the right. Okay, we're going to move the constant to the right. Okay, that's our first step. Second step, we are going to move the variable. I'm going to abbreviate VAR to the left. Okay, move the variable term to the left. Third step, we are going to divide. Okay, we're going to divide by the coefficient. Okay, so let's go through those three steps real quick. Okay, so let's go and look at number one right over here. Okay, remember the first step, we're going to try to draw a line down our equal sign so we can separate the two sides. First step, move the constant to the right. So if we're moving to the right, that means we're starting on the left, right? So to the right, the constant would be the one without the variable term, right? So this is the variable term, so the opposite of, that's our constant. Opposite of positive 5 is negative 5, right? So we're going to do all this by doing the inverse operation. Okay, that's what we're going to do, whatever the inverse operation, which means opposite. Okay, so we're going to think the opposite of this positive 5 is negative 5. So then, since I write it over here, some students will do the calculation. I like to say, go and write it again before we do the calculation. So the thing is, where am I going to write it? Underneath the 2x or underneath the positive 19? Well, since it's a constant, I'm going to write it underneath the positive 19, right? So we're going to say minus 5, right? So then going from left to right, I think, what do I do with the 4x? Do I drop it down or cancel? Well, there's nothing underneath it, so I'm just going to bring it down, right? 4x. These two opposites cancel out. The 2x I'm going to bring down. And then right over here, I put that in my calculator. 19 minus 5 gives me 14, right? But I know that's a positive 14, so I'm going to put a plus there. Okay, so looking good. Second step, move the variable to the left. So this is already on the left, so I'm talking about moving that. I'm going to do that by doing the inverse or opposite. So the opposite of 2x is negative 2x. So we're going to subtract 2x over there, going from left to right. Okay, so 4 minus the 2, so 4x minus the 2x gives us 2x. Okay, these 2x's over here, those cancel out just like we'd expect. Okay, and then I'm going to bring down our positive 14. Okay. Third step, divide by the coefficient. So the coefficient is the number in front of the variable. So we're not going to divide by negative 2. We're going to divide by positive 2. So we divide by that same value. Right? So then the 2's cancel out. X equals 14 divided by 2, which means half, right? So half of 2 is 14 is 7. So that's it. All right, so we're going to follow the same steps. Let's go through this. If you don't have one of these worksheets, just going to pause the video and copy down number 2, and then we'll keep going from there. All right, so let's do that. First step, going to move the constant to the right side. Excuse me. So opposite of negative 8. Negative 8 cancels out. 6x equals 2x. Negative 4 minus 8 gives us negative 12. Okay. Next, I'm going to move the variable term to the left by subtracting 2x from both sides. 6 minus 2x gives us 4x. Those cancel out. Got negative 12. Okay. Third step, divide by the coefficient. So we divide both sides by that 4. Okay, these two 4's cancel out. Right, so we're left with x equals. Put that in the calculator. Negative 12 divided by 4 gives us negative 3. Okay, keep it moving. All right, on number 3, this is a little tricky because we see this a over here. So let's first move the constant, right? So the constant is 6. We know we're going to move that. So the opposite of that's negative 6. Okay, going from left to right, I'm going to bring down my 2a. Those cancel. Equals. Now, I know there's a ghost 1 in front of that. So I think that's helpful to do that because otherwise we kind of overlook it, I think. Right? So then negative 10 minus 6 gives us negative 16. Okay, step 2, move the variable to the left. Okay, so I'm going to do the opposite of positive 1a, which is negative 1a. Negative 1a, right? 2 minus 1 gives us 1a equals, those cancel out. I'm going to bring down our negative 16. Okay, final step. I'm going to divide by the coefficient. Now, you may already know that if we divide by 1, it's still that same value. So we still get negative 16. Okay, keep it moving on number 4. First step, we're going to add 9. Right, we're going to add 9. Going from left to right, we got 7a. Those cancel. 2a plus 40. Okay, next step. Step number 2, we're going to move the variable to the left. We're going to say negative 2a, negative 2a. Go across. Next, we're going to say 7 minus 2a gives us 5a. Okay, these two opposites over here cancel out. Okay, we're going to bring down our positive 40. Okay, last step, we said we're going to divide by that coefficient. So we're going to divide that side by 5, divide that side by 5, cancels out. A equals 8. Okay, last two, let's do it. Step number 1, we're going to move that constant to the right. Opposite of negative 4 is positive 4. Going to add 4, going to add 4 there, making sure I put it underneath the numbers column. Okay, going from left to right, I'm just going to bring down my negative 6x. Those cancel out. I'm going to bring down my negative 10x. Negative 16 plus the 4 gives us negative 12. Okay, second step, I'm going to move that to the other side by adding the opposite. Opposite of negative 10x is positive 10x. Positive 10x, I'm going to go across. That gives us 4x equals, cancels, negative 12. Okay, third step, and the last step, we know we're going to divide by the same coefficient, x equals negative 3. And our last one, this one right over here, we are going to add 5. We're going to add 5 right there. Okay, so going from left to right, we bring down our negative 5x, cancels. That brings us 10 and then negative 3x. Okay, so then we're going to add 3x over there. We're going to add 3x over there, right? So that gives us negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2x. We're going to bring down our 10, and those cancel out. Okay, last step, we're going to divide by that negative 2, so x equals negative 5. Okay, so that's it. All we're going to do is follow those same 3 steps every single time. Move the constant to the right by doing the opposite. Move the variable to the left by doing the opposite, and then divide by that same coefficient. Okay, I know you got this. If you have any questions, just let me know.